So you've probably learned we can have multiple names for the same pitch. For example, F sharp is the same key as G flat, or A sharp is the same thing as B flat. So can we just use those interchangeably whenever we want? Absolutely not. There are very specific rules that we follow in music, and if you haven't learned them yet, this is the video for you. There are two contexts where we very specifically have to choose a sharp versus a flat, and that depends on the context of the music, specifically following the direction of the music, and also thinking about what key you're in. And stick around to the end and I'll give you a bonus tip for the occasions where you absolutely have to use a double sharp. And if you're new here, my name's Jonathan, and on this channel we provide practical tutorials to help you improve at the piano and music theory faster. Let's take a look at this on the keyboard to get some context, and then we'll take a look at it in a specific piece of music. Now when you see sharps and flats as accidentals in your music, that means the sharp or the flat is right next to the note, not as part of the key signature. We'll get to that in just a moment. But when we see that in the music, sharps tend to want to move upwards to the next note, and flats tend to want to move downwards to the next note. So each one has sort of a natural pull. I'll show you a couple examples. Let's say you have a figure that looks like this, and we'll just say we're in the key of C major for now. So if we were to write that, it's much easier to read as G, A flat, wanting to come back down to G, A flat, G. Way easier to read it like that than to read G, G sharp, G natural, which would require an actual natural sign, G sharp, G natural. But then let's say we have those same two notes, but we're continuing upwards. In that case, it makes much more sense when we read the music to read G, G sharp, A. So see what I mean there? So there's a natural tendency for the sharps to want to go upwards and for the flats to want to go downwards. Usually when we use the wrong one, the wrong sharp or flat, it makes it much harder to read in the music and it's much less intuitive. Here's an example from a piece of music. This is Raptors by Kevin Olson, where the left hand has a lot of those similar kind of half steps in there. So notice here we have an A going up to B flat, back to A. And then we have an A going down to G sharp, which comes back to A. Now, technically, all of these could have been written using A as the pitch there. It could have been D, A sharp, A natural, D, A flat, A natural. But even as I speak out all the accidentals, and especially the fact that we would need a natural to cancel out the previous one, you see how much more confusing that is. Whereas when we read it like this, with the proper flats and sharps based on the tendencies of those pitches, it makes it much easier to read. The flat wants to pull down, and then the sharp wants to pull up. So if you're writing your own music, or whenever you're looking at this in a piece of music and you're like, why didn't they do a flat here instead of a sharp, and so on, this is usually the reason why when you see it as accidentals in your music. But now let's talk about sharps and flats in the context of the key that you're playing in. So these are sharps and flats that you're automatically going to include in your music without accidentals. So that's where our key signature comes in. And it's important to remember there's a rule in music theory where in any key or with any scale, each note has to use the next letter. So for example, in G major, we have G, A, B, C, D, E. Now this key here, because we just came off of E, this has to be F something. This is the reason why we don't call this a G flat. So it'd be E, F sharp, G. If we did E, G flat, G natural, then we'd be skipping over the F, and then we'd be using the G twice, which is a no-no in any scale or tonality. Another example could be D major, D, E, F sharp. We have to call that an F sharp because D, E has to be F something, F sharp, G, A, B has to be C sharp, D. So we would never use the flat names for this. And if you're conceptualizing this on the grand staff, the easiest way to think about it is if you write out the entire scale, you want every note to alternate space note, line note, space note, line note. So in the case of F major, this works out great. See how that goes space, line, space, which in effect is basically the same thing I was just showing you, where we're always going to the next letter. Now if we did that same thing, but let's say we called it an A sharp instead of a B flat, then it would look like this. F, G, A sharp, C, D, E, F. So see how it kind of disrupts that natural flow compared to when we write out a beautiful scale that alternates line, space, line on the actual staff. To show you a different key for comparison, let's say we're writing out D flat major. So before I even include the flats, I can just write the note heads D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, because I know I'm going to need those consecutive letters, and then I just add the flats in. D flat, E flat, G flat, A flat, B flat. And can you imagine how much more confusing that key would be if I just randomly threw in a sharp for any of these? And then as promised, here's an example of where you have to use a double sharp. It's a non-negotiable in this context. For this, we're going to use G sharp minor as our key. So just to write that out, I'll start with my basic note heads: G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then I'll add in my 5 sharps. Since it's the relative of B major, I have 5 sharps here. That'll be G sharp, A sharp, C sharp, D sharp, F sharp, and G sharp. So there's my natural minor scale. Now for harmonic minor, we have to raise the 7th note by a half step. So we're going to have to adjust this note right here, that F sharp. And so, oh, and by the way, if this is totally new territory for you, natural, harmonic, and melodic minors, check out this video. That's our complete guide on that topic. So if I want to turn this into a harmonic minor scale, check this out. G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. Now I have to raise this one a half step, but since the previous note was E, this has to be F something. So this is going to be F double sharp. So that's 2 half steps above a regular F. And the symbol for that is going to be a small sort of X-shaped mark that looks like that. And so again, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F double sharp, which naturally kind of leads to G sharp. So this is one of a few examples where you absolutely have to use a double sharp in order for it to be correct. The next step to master fluency in this area is to get really good at understanding key signatures and tonality, which we cover in this video here. I'll see you there.